welcome back once again to After the Credits. Today we saw Sausage Party. What did I think of Sausage Party? Seth Rogen, why do we have this relationship? I think you're a shitty actor. I think you make some of the worst fucking films ever. Or at least the ones that you actually star in. But sometimes you're a fucking genius. And this is one of them fucking occasions because this movie was fucking hilarious. Not super original, but it gets some originality points for the way it portrays certain things. So for those of you who don't know the overall basis of the movie, it's basically an experimental look at relationships based on social bias, racial bias, religious bias, and just the way it goes about it is very clever. I'm not going to say that it's amazing or even good or anything. It's clever. I'll give him that. At the same time, it makes these points about certain things and certain ways people think based on, like I said, social and racial and religious beliefs. It also mockingly jokes racial stereotypes and how, even though you don't mean to, sometimes you play into them, and how other people view other people based on all these little things. And it's all wrapped up into this story about food, who think that when they get chosen by humans, they're going to this magical paradise, only to later find out that the humans kill and eat the food. So, we start out in the supermarket, and there's an opening song number about how great the afterlife will be. Actually, it's not even really called the afterlife. I forget what exactly they call it in the film, but it's basically when you're taken out of the store, it's like you're passing on to the next phase of existence. And they all think it's going to be this magical place. So there's this opening song number, which then leads into Seth Rogen's character, who is a hot dog, a sausage, as he's called in this one. He's in a pack of hot dogs, and he's talking to all the other hot dogs. And then he kind of turns and he's talking to the pack of buns next to him, which the main bun is his girlfriend. And they're hoping to be chosen together when they're purchased, because he can't wait to get inside of her. And it's like this real sexual innuendo. Like even during the song, he's talking about how much he wants to be inside of her, and she goes, "I can't wait to hold you." And he goes, "I want to be inside you. I can't wait to touch you. I can't wait to be inside you." So it's just like back and forth, kind of like how women want a relationship, guys just want to fuck. So it's a cute little nod towards that. So then they're just kind of talking about what it means to be chosen and what happens after we're chosen and blah, 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 blah. What happens after we pass through the door. At one point, Seth Rogen kind of questions if there's actually anything on the other side, because no one knows. It's basically him calling into question his religious beliefs, I guess, because all the others believe in this hereafter. And he's like, yeah, I believe that it's there, but what if it's not? So it's kind of that beginner's doubt thing. They finally get chosen by a woman, because the 4th of July is tomorrow, so she picks up hot dogs and a bun. And shortly before that, a jar of mustard got returned because he was actually honey mustard, and the guy meant to get regular mustard. So they put the honey mustard back on the shelf, and all the other honey mustards are like, "Dude, you're back. What was it like on the other side?" And he's just like this complete wreck, and he's like, "It's all a lie, man. It's all a lie. They kill us and eat us." And everyone's like, "What are you talking about, man? No, that can't be right." So the same way they picked up the hot dogs and buns, picks up the honey mustard, puts it in the cart, and he's like freaking out, like telling everyone, "We're all gonna die. They kill it," like freaking out, and he's about to commit suicide by jumping off the edge of the cart. So Seth Rogen tries to catch him, and Seth Rogen's kind of hanging on the end of the cart. So then his girlfriend goes and she's trying to catch him and hold him up, and they're trying to get back up in the cart, and just then another cart crashes into this cart, and a bunch of shit goes flying out of the cart, crashes all over the floor, and they do this kind of tongue-in-cheek reenactment of the beach scene from Saving Private Ryan. All the people getting blown up as soon as they got out of the boats and start heading towards shore. It even has the moment where the guy picks up his own arm and kind of carries it around, except I think it was a Oreo cookie, and it picked up like its one half. It was kind of walking around. And so it was kind of a little nod towards that, because it's like, basically it's visualizing that what just happened was such a bombshell that it was like almost like an all-out war and destruction. And how do you represent that? Well, that scene in Saving Private Ryan was actually probably a good way. So they reenact that. So now they're lost in the store, and they're kind of upset because they were chosen, and they thought there was this great afterlife that awaited them. Then Seth Rogen's like, well, what if what Honey Mustard said was true? And she's like, well, no, you have to have faith. Again, with the somewhat mocking of the religious belief of having faith. All right, well, I see where this is going. So he goes, okay, well, let's try and get back to our shelf. We'll just jump into another package, and we'll get chosen tomorrow. So they're on their way to that, and he notices something that Honey Mustard had mentioned, so he kind of wants to take a detour just to check it out. But he knows if he tells them directly what he wants to go there for, they won't agree to it. So he basically kind of says, I think there's a shortcut going this way. She follows him. At this point, they've met up with a couple other characters, Bagel and some type of floppy tortilla thing, both from the ethnic foods aisle, I guess. The Bagel obviously representing Jewish, and the whatever it was representing more of the Arab culture and how they're fighting over Jerusalem. I think it is that they're fighting over right now. And Seth Rogen kind of comments about, you know, your aisle's pretty big. I think it's big enough for both of you. And they both kind of like, huh, whatever. So they kind of get along for a second by telling Seth Rogen that he doesn't understand anything. So they're on the same page for that brief moment. But overall, they hate each other. But they tolerate each other long enough to get back to their aisle. So they take this detour with Seth Rogen's hot dog character. We cut over to see what happened to the items that were chosen. And we find out, you know, how they realize that, you know, they are going to be murdered and everything. And one of them escapes, and he's like, okay, I got to try and get back to the store. We follow him for a little while as he tries to get back to the store, meets up with some other food that's been partially eaten by this stoner kid. They're trying to work out this plan for how they can get him to take them back to the store. It involves drug use, again, because it's a Seth Rogen movie, why not? So we cut back over to Seth Rogen in the store. He gets separated from the rest of the group at one point, and he's told, you know, if you really want to know the truth, go check this out. If not, then go catch up with your friends. So he catches up with his friends, and he tries to convince them all to come with him, and they're like, dude, you're getting out of hand with this stuff. You know, you're going too far. We just want to get back to our aisles. We don't want to go on this adventure. We don't need proof of that our beliefs are wrong. You know, we don't need that. We just want to be who we are and live our life. He splits off, and he goes and checks out this other thing that they told him to go check out. So eventually the remaining three, they all get back to their shelves, and that's when Seth Rogen's hot dog character gets on the in-store security or overhead footage and kind of announces to everyone, look, I found this, and it proves that what you guys believe is wrong. So, of course, they kind of get into a panic mode, and they're like, look, we can either believe what you're telling us, or we can continue to believe what we've been told all along. What we've been told all along is a lot happier. We're going to choose to keep believing that. He's like, you're all idiots, and they're like, well, you know, we may be idiots, but at least we're happy idiots. So he's trying to get back over to meet up with his girlfriend because the store's about to open. Spoiler, the other hot dog that was trying to get back to the store finally makes it back to the store. And he's like, look, man, everything you said was right, but you have to understand the way you went about trying to explain to these people was wrong. You need to be more understanding of their personal beliefs and whatnot. So Seth Rogen gets back on the camera and tries again. And he's like, look, you know, this is happening, but we can stop it if we all fight together, you know, and rebel against the humans. So at first they're all kind of, nah, you know, we're done listening to you, go away. Something happens in the movie, I don't remember exactly what it is, to where all the food starts to believe in what Seth was saying, and they all agree to finally fight together to take down the humans. And basically the food in the store kills every human in the store and develop this level of peace with each other, which leads to this giant fucking orgy out of nowhere. Because at first Seth Rogen and his girlfriend are kind of like, you know, we're finally back together, let's do what we always wanted to do, and they start fucking. And the Bagel and the whatever tortilla thing are watching, and they're like, I don't know if it's right to sit here and watch like this, and they kind of like start to kiss each other, and then there was this taco shell that they met up with that implies a few times that she's a lesbian and wants to be with the bun. So they're watching these two have sex, and it's on the cameras through the store. So then the other people start having sex, and then everyone in the store starts having sex. The taco gets it on with the bun at one point because she thinks it's Seth Rogen doing something, and he's like, what are you talking about? I'm over here jerking off to these guys doing it, and talking about the bagel and the tortilla thing. She looks down, and it's the taco going to work on her. So then there's like that, and then, like I said, the rest of the store, all the products start just having sex with each other. And then that wraps up, and then everyone's just kind of like, okay, back on the shelves. Like it never happened. Okay, whatever. And that kind of wraps up the movie. We'd never get a resolution as to what happened as far as the humans in the store the next day, because they were all killed. Eventually, I would assume someone comes in and finds a bunch of dead bodies. And did the food then attack again, or was the store just shut down and all that food was allowed to sit there and rot in peace? What happened next? There was actually a continuation of the movie after the orgy and all that. They were called back to the room where the characters originally told Seth Rogen where to go to find the truth. And they're like, look, we've discovered a new truth, and here's what it is. And it sequel baits hard into potentially another film. But I honestly hope they don't go the route that they were saying they were going to go with it, because that would just be ridiculous. The option is there. So yeah, like I said, they don't really resolve anything after that as far as what happened in the store with the humans. But based on where they're going next with the story, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't want to spoil the whole movie for you, but more or less that's the movie. So like I said, it was a fun experimental look into different aspects of race and religion and personal beliefs and social beliefs, stereotypes and things like that. And I think they handled it fairly well for what it was. Again, it's a cartoon. It's not meant for kids, but they were trying to push it as we can talk about all these things because we're a cartoon, and cartoons are meant to be kind of stupid, so if we say something stupid, it's just an expression of the character's beliefs, not their own personal beliefs. And as long as the cartoon character learns something different by the end, it works. So like I said, it was kind of a fun experiment. Like I said, sometimes Seth Rogen, more times than not, makes piles of shit for films. Once in a while, he squeaks out a gem. Once in a while, there's a Superbad. Once in a while, there's a Sausage Party. Once in a while, there's every other Seth Rogen movie. So, what would I give this one as far as a star rating? I'm going to give it a solid 4 for what it was. They took a chance with what it was, and it worked out. And from what I hear, it's doing really well at the theaters. It might even be up for a few awards. So yeah, I give it a solid 4. Not much else to say other than that without repeating myself more and more. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. The links to social stuff is down there in the description. And until next time, we'll see you after the credits.